I don't say to be the CMO, the CTO, and so on, but you have to know all of them. I made the mistake to hire a great person in sales. I stopped to talk with my customers, and I made the mistake to hire a great person in marketing, and I didn't know how to pronounce in one sentence what we are doing with 100 features. And until you have the product market fit, I think you have to be there with your clients to understand what you are building, why you are building, and so on.
The water's fine, homie, jump into the deep end. Sow it, you will reap it. We talking how to start it, how to grow it, how to keep it. Take a deep breath. You are now rocking with Founder Secrets.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Founder Secrets. Today we have one of the top Romanian entrepreneurs on the pod, Ionut of FameUp. You know the best place to meet your Romanian entrepreneurs, Taylor? Meatpacking, New York. This is where they all are. So welcome to the show, Ionut.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me.
Very excited to hear about FameUp and how businesses use social media and how you've helped them and your journey from Europe to the US. But first, we have our icebreaker, which I thought would be related to social media, since we're going to talk about that today. And to switch it up a bit, I was going to ask what's the most positive interaction or experience that you've had on social media that you can think of. A lot of people talk about negative, but maybe we can highlight one positive one that came out of using social media. Taylor, do you want to go first?
I have the perfect one for this. So there's this guy, his name's Nick Gray. So he started two companies. He started a company called Museum Hack and some other one nobody's ever heard of. But he wrote a book, and his book is called The 2-Hour Cocktail Party. I think it's like a very interesting, it's super cool, but that's not the positive social media experience. The positive social media experience is that he posted April 16th, which was 2 weeks ago. He posted on Twitter, and I'm going to read you the post. He said, "I want to do a blind date, and we're going to go to Tokyo next weekend. If you're a woman with a passport who likes sushi and Japanese food and can ride a bike in a big city, let's go. I'll pay for everything, but in return, you have to film stupid videos of me for social. More info here." So he links to a Google Doc, and he apparently got tons of submissions, and then he did it. So the trip, I think, is supposed to end like today, but he's been writing on Twitter these like pictures with her and pictures with them together. And it's heartwarming. And he's a great writer too. It's one of the coolest things I've read on social media in the last 10 years. It's just such a cool, positive story. And he's a great writer, and there's cool, funky photos. And you get to hear from her perspective too. They did not know each other. She was from Utah, and they just met in the airport in Tokyo. And they ended up extending the trip. Just a super, super cool story. All right, Fabio, your turn.
I'm going to talk about how I just think it's so much easier to search. Like, for example, I recently have wanted to find people from my home little village in Romania that have become software engineers, and to try to hire them just to see. And it's actually quite easy to do. I'm like surprised at how imagine how hard this would be before, to try to find somebody that's from like this town that I haven't spoken to in tens of years. And now with just one search, I'm connected to these people that we have a lot in common. We grew up together. They're software engineers. We could work together. And it's just, I feel like led to in-person experiences that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
The most positive social media experience. Guys, I want to let you know that I think it was 15 years ago when I met my wife on social media.
What?
Really?
No,
that's a great one.
It was the best experience. And listening to you, Taylor, I made the match, and basically it was high five, not Facebook, not even Instagram or TikTok. And yeah, I think this is the best. It was a life changer, and I'm very happy and very lucky. That's it.
Did you just message her?
No. I saw a picture with her with some of my friends, and somebody matched me with her. It were actually few messages, and after that it was a face-to-face meeting. Yeah. So thanks to High Five for having this great life.
Wow. Rest in peace, high five.
Rest in peace, high five.
All right. Fast forward 15 years. You're now founder and CEO of FameUp. One word, FameUp, and FameUp.com. Maybe you can tell us what made you start this? What does it do? Yeah, go ahead.
So I finished medicine. I had to be doctor, and I decided to start a company, jump in the startup area, this crazy world. I want to let you know that first of all, it was a location app. It was Floca, the name. And after that, I changed the product. It was a dating app. And after that, I changed the product. It was a social media app. And in the end, it was FameUp because I started to get users from social media and connect them with the brands, small, medium brands, big brands. After that, big agencies, big groups of agencies. And in the end, we are here. So right now we connect brands and influencers through an automatic platform, easy to use. And it was a long story, 8 years try and error until to make this product.
And so now it connects brands with influencers, but not like huge influencers, right? Not like Kim Kardashian.
No, there are micro influencers. So basically, if you want to amplify your marketing campaign, you can use a platform and you can start today.
But what's a micro influencer?
Micro influencers are people between 10,000 followers and 100,000 followers, and also nano influencers between 500 and 10,000. So 95% from our users are nano and micro, and our focus is to have a very fast turnaround in terms of connecting these nano and micro influencers with brands to amplify their marketing campaign on social media.
We're nano influencers, Taylor, in case.
Yeah, we are micro, nano, tiny. So what's an example of how a brand can use this? Like how are you seeing people actually using it specifically?
Think about it. Consumer brands, they have a new product. You can get 1,000 people, send them to the store to buy the product and make a selfie today, tonight on their social media. Look, guys, what do you think about this new product? Think about another example. We have a new song from Universal Music and they want to put in trending this song. They use 1,000, 2,000 people that will use that piece of content, piece of song to grow in trending. So usually you will use nano and micro influencers in the moment when you want to amplify your brand in small communities, very targeting communities, and to get the authenticity from these people. Because they have friends, families, neighborhoods, they can connect your brand with your audience very, very specific.
And it's geographic, right? So it's let's say you wanted to target everybody in Portugal. You could do that.
Think about it's a new store, open store in New Jersey, and you need 500 people from there to be there tonight, the open store, and make some videos from there and some content. You can use this content to amplify on social media. Basically, we give you the rights for this content. We buy the rights for the content from these nano and micro influencers, and we sell the intellectual property to these brands. And they have the possibility to use in social media, make spark ads and something like that. They will have a lot of content, authentic content.
By the way, I was in New Jersey earlier this week. And by the way, Princeton, New Jersey, one of the most beautiful towns I've ever seen. If you've never been, I was surprised how nice it was. But back to FameUp. Let's skip a bit. It seems like what would be a competitive, what stops, me from, getting a brand and then messaging all these nano influencers like Taylor and all these thousands of people and doing the same thing. I guess, how do you view competition? Is there a moat or something preventing other people from doing the same thing?
There are more than 1,000 influencers platform in the United States. Different tools able to connect you with different influencers, but there are discovery tools. So basically you will have access for a monthly fee to Google for influencers, and you search them by categories, cities, and so on. But from there, you have to contact one by one with them. And you will talk with the manager, you will talk with, the agency. And if you find an influencer a nano influencer, they don't have a company, they can give you an invoice or something like that. So the process is too long. It's between 2 weeks and 6 weeks if you want to work with 1, 2, 3. And basically, when I told you the turnaround, the very fast turnaround, we automate the process because we have these nano influencers in our platform. So we connect them immediately. We made for them a mobile app able to connect immediately with the brand in the moment when they will put the brief in the platform.
How does the process work? Like, so a brand says, I want 10 influencers, come to my New Jersey store opening in Princeton, in the beautiful city of Princeton, and I want them to post about it tonight. Like, do they assign a budget, or walk me through how it works from the brand's perspective and from the influencer's perspective?
Basically, any brand, they have an objective, okay? Our objective is this, to bring 10, 20 influencers in our store today. They open our platform, they open FameUp, they put there the brief with the request, people from New Jersey, this age, this interest, okay? And they send the brief in the platform. In the next 5 minutes, people from Jersey will receive the brief and they will start to apply. Basically, we get your budget and we spread your budget to these people, yeah? And you have the possibility to choose the right people. I want to work with Mike, I want to work with Taylor, with Flavio, and so on. So we connect them immediately because we have our database with these nano and micro influencers.
And then you take a cut? Is that the way the business model works?
Business model, it's not a subscription base. It's based on the campaign budget. We got a percent from the total budget. It's the same business model as the Uber, where you ask for Uber driver, you will pay $100, but the Uber probably will get 70, 80, or 90.
Okay, so how much money have you raised so far?
We raised until now 3 million. We raised this money in East Europe. Yeah, we raised more than 3 million, because there were some angel investors and some VCs. It's not bad for East Europe. We made lots of mistakes, and want to let you know that right now our focus is on the product 100%. After 6 months, United States, basically, I saw a big differentiator that we can improve and put in this product. And in the next 3 months, for sure, we'll have the future live.
First of all, congratulations. That's incredible to raise that in Europe or in Romania. I can raise in Charlotte, North Carolina, which in a lot of it's tougher in some ways than Eastern Europe. And so I guess how many rounds of financing was that?
It was a pre-seed from an angel investor and a seed round. We had the possibility to raise a bridge, $500,000, but we say skip to that, and probably we'll get in Q2, Q3 this year, a better bridge. But right now our focus is to build the product and get the traction.
Well, how do you feel about that? I guess, are you happy with you wish you had raised more or less, or how do you view it?
If I had the possibility to raise more, probably now I will be that. It's very dangerous when you have a bunch of money in your bank account. I think the best idea comes when you are there nearby zero, say like that.
That's a really strange thing to say. You say it's very dangerous to have a lot of money in your bank account. Is that what you said?
Yes, from my perspective.
I don't think most people would think that. It's dangerous not to have money in your bank.
You think about when you are in seed, Flavio, you think about, okay, I will get the best person in marketing. I will get the best person in sales. I will get the best person, I don't know, the product person. But I think from my perspective, you need to be that product person until Series A. You need to be that salesperson, being there with your clients, and also maybe strange how to be the product person, the salesperson, also the marketing person, but you need to be a bunch of, I don't know, step by step from all these positions, I don't say to be the CMO, the CTO and so on, but you have to know all of them, And I made the mistake to hire a great person in sales, and I stopped to talk with my customers, And I made the mistake to hire a great person in marketing, and I didn't know how to pronounce in one sentence what we are doing with 100 futures, to put another something like that. And until you have the product market fit, I think you have to be there with your clients to understand what you are building, why you are building, and so on. I saw, even if you are in East Europe, in Romania, there are lots of startups that raise millions here. We have some VCs that invest lots of money in startups in Romania. And I saw too many of them dying because of this mistake, 2, 3, 4, 5 millions on their hands, and they never hit product market fit. That doesn't mean if you don't have money, or if you have money, you can hit product market fit. But you have the chance to be there with your clients and to get the feedback and to listen and to think about it.
What do you think of that, Taylor?
It's not the answer I expected, but I also, I agree. I think that the founders, it's too easy when you get a lot of money. It's too easy to just, they'll do that or they'll do that versus, the founder learning the marketing skills, like you said, learning the sales skills, learning how to pitch, learning all of those things. But I also think it's kind of counter to some of the things that you read on social media or some of the things you read in a book about, working in your business versus on your business. So you don't want to be doing sales because, that's working in your business, right? You should be a founder and you should be just way up here in the sky. And all you do is kind of control puppets. My experience is much closer to Ionut's. Like, I think it's, I enjoy the work. Like I enjoy sales and marketing and all that stuff. So maybe that's part of it. Did you?
Well, let me put it this way. It seems like now you're saying you would want to spend more money on the product. And I always thought VCs, investors want you to spend money more on sales and marketing and less on product. Do you find that to be the case, Ionut?
I made the mistake to hire 50 people when I had 2 million in my bank account. So basically, they invested in us and they put some condition. You have to create these teams. And for the next 6 months, I start to hire. Being solo founder and the CEO, I start to make lots of interviews and hire people. And for 6 months, I didn't have any kind of discussion with any kind of clients, So I was lost. And after 6 months, the next milestone, it was okay, you have to go now in the United States and launch the product, because we have a very good growth system. We are a marketplace. We can bring very easy the supply, but in terms of demand, because we can bring the influencers, but we can bring so fast the brands and the agencies. There are big brands, to close a deal with them is between 3 and 6 months. And it was, we spent more than 1 million in the first year. The 0 discussions with customers. I jumped in United States. I didn't have the product. And it was a very, very interesting perspective. And Flavio, when I came now in United States, not with 2 million in the bank account, with few hundred thousands, I had to talk with these agencies, with these brands, with these, first time when I came there and I started to try to find a salesperson, a chief revenue officer. And I didn't know what I sell, who is the ideal customer profile, how I was in Sky, with the head. And I had to be on bankruptcy with 0 money in the bank account, cut more than 60% from the team and start from 0, from scratch, talking with the customers. And that's it. There are the mistakes that is the first mistake that somebody make when they have money in the bank account. Hire people, and this is the death of the company if you don't have the product market fit.
Now you're in the US expanding, and so how are you finding that? I guess what's the experience? It seems like it's almost starting from 0. Are the customers in the US, you think, different? The brands in the US different than the ones in Europe?
In East Europe, we have few platforms, 2-3 platforms. In United States, you have 1,000 platforms. And also you have, even if 98% are discovery platforms. But when you try to approach, a person from Publicis for a big agencies, they're already working with somebody. And it's a big difference when a new startup with a founder from East Europe trying to contact somebody, then, Green or Captivate, these big brands, and they had 50 millions, 100 millions, they raised 100 millions in a B series and C or something like that. And they already hire the media person directly from Zenith, the media, the senior VP directly from Publicis. When you get a person like this, they already have the contacts. It's easy for them to open some doors instead to be a solo founder, East European founder, and try to do that. The reason why I came in United States, of course, the market is 1000x than in Europe. But the reason why I came there, it's very simple. not even the budgets. If you want to raise money from United States, you have to live in United States. If you want to raise money from there, you have to have clients from there. Nobody care about 1 million revenue in East Europe, in Romania or in Serbia or Hungary. This is insignificant. You need to have clients from United States. And if you want to have clients from United States, you have to be there.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you want to raise money in the States, but in order to raise money in the States, you have to have sales in the States. And that's why you moved to New York, is to kind of kickstart that. But it seems like, listening to your story, it seems that, you had good success, or you've had good success in raising money in Eastern Europe and Romania. You built a client base there. Why not just stay in Europe and continue to build this great business instead of, uprooting your family, coming to the US? Like, why not just keep growing and doing what you were doing in Europe?
We have this possibility with our client, with the biggest client that we're working with Publicis, to expand in a few other countries here. And this is what we are doing in the next few months. But Taylor, think about that. Pepsi in Romania, they have a marketing budget, I don't know, for influencers for this month, $3,000. In United States, they will start with $100,000 only test campaign, And when you have this discussion with these, VCs, investors, everybody asks you about money. For example, I had a discussion with a big agency from United States, and they say something very easy. Okay, we can make this test with $200,000. And they say $200,000, but somebody here in Romania say, okay, let's make this test with $2,000. This is the difference. And I'm very happy because I had the opportunity to speak with all these big brands, agencies in the United States, to see exactly what kind of tools, platforms they are using, what is the difference, and where we can bring that innovation, where is the differentiator between us and them. And we will work on that in the next 3 months. And I think we can do it. We found that. Yeah, probably with some luck, we can hit that product market fit United States at the end of the year.
Is that all because you came here and learned some of those things on your own? Like, do you think it would have been possible to learn those same lessons and be able to sell PepsiCo, that $200,000 deal from Europe? Or do you think they treat you differently when you're here? Like, what I guess I'm trying to really narrow in on, like, you really changed a lot of your life in order to do this step. And you already had success in Europe. I hear the budgets are bigger. I hear that, it's a much bigger country, right? I'm trying to understand what is it that makes you want the more? What is it that makes you want the bigger dollars when you already had perfectly fine business in Europe and a much simpler way of doing it and growing it, right?
Yeah, if we are staying in Europe, probably this year we'll have 2 million in revenue, maybe 3 million or something like that. So 2x, 3x or something like that. But the reason why I wanted to be in United States and I wanted to get some clients from there, first of all, you can't do that without a few face-to-face meetings. I had 4 or 5 face-to-face meetings with Pepsi, with OMD, with different clients. You can do that from Romania in a meeting. You need to have this chemistry with these people to, this is how it's working. To be there maybe for a dinner, for an event or something like that. The reason why I'm looking at your market, it's all about how you can create that product able to grow not only in a small country in East Europe, but also in all these countries. You can grow in 10 countries in Europe in 1 year without these investments, And if you want to get the money, probably you can raise 5-10 millions in Europe in 2 years, but you need to be in the United States and have clients from there to get VCs from there. In B2B, you have 2 options. You have to hire a person in the United States, and what are the price, and you have 30% chance to get a good person in sales there, and this you don't have the budget to try and error, or you have to be there and talk with these clients, and maybe you see the difference between Europe and United States, and how you can reshape the product in terms to grow there.
When you came here, how were you able to get these meetings and going to dinners and things with these big companies? I mean, people fight. Look, I used to be in the agency world. I owned an agency for 12 years. I have many friends in the agency world. people go their whole careers trying to get you're just throwing around these brands as if it's easy to get these meetings. My wife worked at PepsiCo. It's not easy to get those meetings. How are you able to come here as a new founder or just new in this country? How are you able to get these meetings? So what has been successful for you?
In the first month, I want to let you know that I try all the meetup meetings, different, I don't know, from jujitsu to tennis to all of them, trying to connect with people from marketing agencies. I've been also in Central Park running different, I don't know, events just to try to connect with some people. And step by step, after 2-3 weeks, I started to find the right meetings in marketing, the right meetings with founders, the right meetings. There are lots of meetings in United States, especially in New York, you have 10, 15 meetings for founders, and somebody connect you with Flavio connect you with Taylor connect you with the next agency. This is how it's working.
Wait. You're saying the jiu-jitsu and the tennis and the running in Central Park led not necessarily to the people at a PepsiCo or big brand, but to somebody that knew those people.
Yes. For example, in terms of Pepsi, I want to let you know that so I had each day 3 hours for events, 2 hours for LinkedIn, connecting with people, 3 hours for different meetings, and sometimes from some meetings with the team in Romania. And in Pepsi example, so I was lucky enough to get an answer from the person in charge with influencer marketing in the United States. Yeah. And that person connect me with the person from Rockstar, and the person from Rockstar connect me with the next person. And I had a meeting with some founders, and I met another founders that invite me to a dinner. And there I found a woman that works 12 years at Ketchum. At Ketchum was the PR agency from Omnicom, and that woman connect me with the chief innovation officer from Omnicom, and that person connect me with the influencer marketing senior VP. And this is how you can connect with that, but you have to be outside, trying to match different events, different people. This is how I met Flavio, for example, and after 1 month, I've been in Soho Wars with him, with John and other people. But try and error, trying to connect with people. And New York, it's great for this. The only problem that I saw in United States, different than Europe, if you are in Europe and if you start to get some feedback, people here, based on the culture, they will let you know, look, this is not for me. I don't know. I don't have experience in this area, something like that. But they will be honest with that. In United States, everybody will say it's amazing. Wow, it's amazing. Let's meet tomorrow. Let's send me this email, and you'll not receive any kind of answer. Something interesting here, if I invite you in Europe to get a feedback from you, you will be in that meeting listening and trying to give the feedback. In the United States, if I invite you for a meeting to get some feedback, probably you'll come and try to sell me something. It's a very different approach, a very different culture, and you need some, minds to accommodate with that.
Well, it seems like you've adapted incredibly fast. I mean,
super fast.
Like December, people like Taylor said spend their whole life never getting there. You were able to do it in a few months, and it sounds like you're actually quite good at sales.
I'm still trying.
What would you advise? Switching gears a little bit to kind of other entrepreneurs, especially maybe entrepreneurs from another country or from Eastern Europe that are looking to go down this path of entrepreneurship. And based on your experiences, what advice would you have for them?
Man, if you want to start a company, think about the next 5-10 years on this area. From my perspective, the most important skill is the persistence. Still going, still trying to do and follow the path. I don't know, maybe 1, 2, 3 examples, company that started with one idea and they, succeeded in that area. But all of them started with something and they change. You need to have this flexibility. We have a problem, Flavio, in Romania. You came from here. And the problem is our history. 35 years ago, we finished with the communists. It's very hard for somebody in tech, in IT, with a salary 3,000, 4,000 in this country, have a salary like this and to quit and start a company when you have this kind of salary, Your parents, get $500, $600, and you already get 5 weeks. You need to be persistent and go forward. This is not a 8 hours job or something like that. You can have a job and have a startup. You can have, I don't know, a family and think about life balance, Even if you are in your holiday in Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, whenever you are, you think about it. You think about, okay, but this idea, even if you are on a boat or something like that, your head is there and trying, and this is work for me. If you go to the bed, you will have ideas in your head, and this is work. Doesn't mean it's morning, it's night, and something like that.
A lot of people have ideas. How are you? You seem quite good at implementing the ideas. You opened this talk by talking about the team and building the team and all those things. But a lot of what I hear you saying, especially in coming to the States, it's like you had this idea. I'm going to go play soccer, tennis, whatever, and I'm going to meet this person and make them introduce me. How do you think about not just the idea side, but actually putting the ideas in place? What's your process for figuring out what are the right ideas to do, but really how to actually do them, how to actually accomplish things?
When I arrived in New York, I didn't know from where I have to start to try to find some clients or to try to find some agencies, brands, and something like that. But I knew I have 2 months until I will be back in Europe for 2 weeks to do my best to find the way. And I tried 2 months in a row trying clients, and the other 2 months in a row trying some advisors, because you can find, I don't know, a professor on Columbia, with 15 years background, and he already had students that right now are working in agencies, and you can get an advisors from there. And with these advisors, you already have, I don't know, 10 open doors or something like that. And you can have an advisor in different agencies. So the idea is to try different paths, not stay in the same way. Okay, only trying this and this and this and this, and give yourself 1 month for this, 1 month for this. And in the end, probably you have to do that. It's impossible to don't find the way. This is my, it's blocking in my head is. So it doesn't matter if it's New York, if it's Tokyo, or I don't know, Seoul. If your goal is to find some clients, you can do that. Everybody play jujitsu in these cities and play football or volleyball or something like that,
Well, I've never done jujitsu. Me either. Well, cool. As we move on to the life hack, we all are going to share one hack that perhaps, or a little nugget of information that might help the audience. I can go first to give you guys some time. I've started reading this book called The Power of Now. Have you guys heard of it? It's by Eckhart Tolle. It's an older book. I mentioned this to somebody and they're like, oh, I read it 20 years ago. Okay. Well, I just discovered it. And it is all about, what you were saying, Ionut, to also be able to disconnect and kind of unwind and not be thinking about the business or something all the time. And it's specific about how to do that. It's kind of an easy concept to think of, but hard to apply in real life in the day-to-day. So I'm reading it very, very slowly, but I highly recommend it.
So I have a little bit of a callback to one. So early on, I talked about this U-Haul program called U-Box, it's kind of U-Haul's pod program to move. So I just moved from New York City to Orange County in California. And, there are lots of ways to move. And a lot of them are extremely expensive, like to hire one of these van lines or whatnot. It's very expensive. So somebody turned me on to this program that U-Haul has called U-Box. And basically, it's a way that they bring pods to you. They're like big boxes, and you load them up with as much stuff as you can, and then they will ship them anywhere in the world. So not just in the US, but they'll ship them to Europe, they'll ship them to Asia. And so my follow-up to this is what the experience was actually like, because now I moved and we actually did it. And I will say, very positive. So very good value. So it's 60 or 70% cheaper than going with one of these van lines. And basically it takes the same amount of time. So the whole process end to end takes about 2 weeks. So from the time that local movers came to our apartment in New York City, they packed everything, loaded everything, put it in these. We rented 2 of these U boxes. They parked the U boxes right outside our apartment building in Manhattan. They loaded them all up, and then they took them away. Right, they took them to Staten Island or New Jersey, wherever that is, and then they load them up there. And then 2 weeks later, it showed up here in Orange County, about 25 miles away. And then I had local movers here go and pick up those boxes, bring them here, unload them. So the whole experience was great. U-Haul owns a moving platform, like a movers platform. So the way of selecting the local movers, you pay all through the app. You can even tip through the app. It's a very, very good experience. U-Haul, I've been very impressed with the whole thing. By the way, customer service is all via text message. So when I had questions, I texted U-Haul. They looked up my order based on my phone number. It was a very, very good thing. Highly recommend. Yeah. So my life hack is, if anybody's moving, I would say not within the same city, probably doesn't. But if you're going even state to state, even if you're going 40, 50, 60 miles, it was a good experience. And certainly if you're going further than that, it was a great experience. So that's my life hack.
This show is sponsored by U-Haul. All right, Ionut.
To be honest with you, the best one, it was when I discovered the growth system in my product. So basically, just to give you a perspective, in a market with 3 million users, we made a growth system that were able to bring more than 100,000 downloads in one day. That was in Romania. And I think it was a mistake. And I put the product live in Spain. And I got the flight to Spain, and I tried to make the same cycle there. And it was amazing because we had 150,000 downloads in that country. So this was for me a life hack, because with this, I was able to raise money from a VC with $5,000 in revenue and with a team of 3 people.
Wow. Well, that's, I love how focused you are. This is a good, it's a good business hack. How can others do that, right? How would you recommend others can apply that same amount of growth to their business?
It was a mistake, to be honest, to find that. I swear. You know that story with the penicillin when they made from mistake that drug? Mm-hmm. It was a mistake in my case, because I tried different ideas. And I don't know, I went to sleep, and in the morning I had 50,000 downloads and I didn't know why. And basically I found a growth system that each person bring other 10% and this 10% bring 50% and so on, without affecting the cash flow, only the P&L. So it was a mistake. And with that mistake, I started to pitch VCs and explain them that we can do that in United States and bring millions of users. But I had the luck that they didn't think about demand. They think only about supply. And I had a very, very fast due diligence. And in 3 weeks, I had the money in the bank and started to hire people. And the story is that one, where I spent the money without knowing how I can bring the demand.
Well, Ionut, thank you for sharing your experience. People can find you at FameUp, Ionut, IONUT, at FameUp.com. Yep. Is that right?
Yeah, FameUp.com. Ionut at FameUp.com is my email address. Thank you very much, guys, for having this discussion together.
Thanks for coming on the pod.